Good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist James Longwith with Dynamic Weather Agency, and today I'm going to give you an update on that winter storm that's going to be impacting parts of the mid-Atlantic up through the Northeast territories. We have made a little bit of changes to our snowfall maps, but first, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and also click that notification bell so you get notified whenever we post new videos. Also, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And also head over to our website, dynamicweatheragency.com, where we offer a variety of weather consulting and forecasting services. So let's get into today's video. All right, so getting into things, we do have a winter storm now. The Weather Channel is calling this Winter Storm Gale. But before we can get into our forecast, I do want to caution you guys about things you might see out on the internet. This map right here is not our map. This was taken from another page on Facebook and another YouTube channel. Not a meteorologist is calling for 20 to 30 inches of snow. This is not going to happen. Basically, these maps and these videos online are basically just to get likes and shares and to basically cause scare to the public. We do not believe this is going to happen, and we'll explain why later on in our video. Taking a look at the National Weather Service's current hazards, their watches, warnings, and advisories, we see winter weather advisories, winter storm watches, and winter storm warnings stretching across parts of the mid-Atlantic into the Northeast territories. And taking a look at a WSSI day 1 through 3 overall winter storm impacts, we can see moderate to extreme impacts, and that's going to be due to what we have on our snowfall forecast map. This is our map right here. We're expecting 12 to 16 inches as the max area for snowfall, and we're expecting to see isolated areas up to 18 inches of snow. Those hazards, as mentioned on the previous slide, are going to be due to that accumulating snowfall. Of course, some slippery roads, poor visibility. There's going to be some gusty winds during this time, which could lead to near blizzard conditions or blizzard conditions. We'll explain that here in a little bit. And of course, major travel disruptions. So be sure to give yourself extra time when going to and from work, and be sure to give yourself extra distance between cars because you'll need that extra stopping distance. Taking a look at the NAM 3-kilometer model, this is a high-resolution North American model. Looking at 10-meter wind gusts on the 17th at 9 Zulu, which is around 4 o'clock in the morning. You can see winds on the Atlantic coast in parts of southern New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, parts of Delaware, eastern Pennsylvania. You can definitely see those winds gusting anywhere from 35 to even almost 50 miles an hour in some locations. And this is going to help with what I was talking about, those blizzard or near blizzard-like conditions. So basically what the National Weather Service says, a blizzard is a combination of 3 weather elements: sustained winds or frequent wind gusts of 35 miles an hour or greater, which we can see that we can have that for a period of time. Visibility dropping to less than a quarter mile due to large amounts of falling or blowing snow. So we will see some heavy snowfall that could reduce visibility to less than a quarter mile. And the condition has to last for 3 hours or longer. That is going to be the main key factor right there from determining whether or not we're going to have blizzard-like conditions or if we're going to have blizzard conditions. So let's take a look at some of the weather models and what they think are going to happen as in terms of snowfall. The Euro has begun to decrease the snowfall totals. As we had in our previous video, we're showing the Euro. One run was showing snowfall totals just slightly higher than this, with I think a max of like 27 inches of snow. And then there was another run of the Euro we're showing on our last thing that was showing 33 inches of snow. The Euro model has slowly been trending to less snowfall. And we do believe the Euro track was a lot better. On our last video, we were talking about the GFS. The GFS has finally moved its track more north and has begun to follow that European model track. Again, the GFS we still believe is over forecasting snowfall totals in this portion of Pennsylvania. Other than that, we kind of agree with what the rest of the GFS is spitting on out during this model run. The UK Met, again, we believe is overdoing forecast totals in this more pinkish white area in Pennsylvania and southern New York. This is the NAM 3-kilometer model. It's a high-resolution North American model. Again, we believe it's overdoing forecast totals a little bit, but it's got a similar track to the Euro and the GFS. Taking a look at the HRRR, this is the High Resolution Rapid Refresh model. This one is still, again, kind of following those same similar tracks as we've been seeing. Still think it's over doing snowfall totals, but it has more northerly extent to the higher snowfall totals. This model right here is the National Weather Service's gridded forecast product. This forecast right here closely resembles to what we have been putting out as our forecast map. They have begun to decrease some of their snowfall totals too. They still have this kind of higher snowfall total area in Pennsylvania like this with the 20-inch snow, as you can see right there. But all in all, we kind of agree with what they have pushing on out. Still a little bit high in this little bit of an area, but like we said, we could see 12 to 16 in that area with some isolated 18, so not too far off from what we were thinking. This right here is the National Weather Service blend of models. This one is more what we believe is going to happen without those 20-inch snowfall totals. Again, with this little area of 12 to 16 inches of snow within portions of Pennsylvania. We can see this extending further eastward into parts of Massachusetts and Connecticut. But other than that, this is what we believe is more accurate to what is going to happen. Taking a look at what's going on synoptically in our previous video, we're talking about that area of energy moving in on western CONUS has now begun to move its way down into parts of southern New Mexico and western Texas. And I see that nice deep trough that's developed across the central U.S. It's bringing a nice push of cold air. You can see that looking at our 850 millibar temperatures, seeing a nice push of cold air that's beginning to develop. It's going to move its way from the Great Plains into the Midwest, Ohio Valley and Tennessee Valley region, into southeastern CONUS, then into the mid-Atlantic and up into parts of the Northeast. With this nice 300 millibar trough and the jet max down at the base of the trough, we're going to see this jet max move out of the base and begin to increase in speed over the next couple of hours. Jet max will be on the 16th at 12 Zulu, located over parts of Mississippi and Alabama and parts of Tennessee. You got some nice divergence aloft and diffluent flow ahead of that that's going to increase surface cyclogenesis. At 500 millibars, we expect to see that 500 millibar shortwave trough to deepen, and we do see that 500 millibar shortwave trough deepening, also with the Vort max increasing in intensity. This nice Vort maximum over the northeast is going to enhance lift and allow for some of those heavier snowfall totals in that portion of Pennsylvania, southern New York, parts of Massachusetts, and Connecticut. At 850 millibars, we expect to see a nice 850 millibar frontogenesis maximum around that area. We see that exact same thing. That's going to help enhance snowfall over the region. So taking a look at the WPC's forecast surface charts, so you got that jet max and that 500 millibar shortwave supporting this low pressure center that's over Texas. That low is going to track its way over to the north and to the east, where it's going to stall out over the Appalachian Mountains. That jet max and shortwave is going to outrun this surface low, where there's a pre-existing area of vorticity in this boundary that's along the east coast. That jet max and shortwave will then begin to support this low. As we mentioned, it's got a lot of upper level support with the Vort max and positive vorticity of action moving into the area, and of course the diffluence aloft and divergence aloft that's going to allow the mass moving into the surface low to be expelled aloft. With the upper level support, the cyclone is going to deepen rapidly as it tracks along the coast, where it keeps that nice thermal and moisture contrast with the relatively warm waters from the Gulf Stream moving along the eastern CONUS and the cool air that's over the land. And as our system moves off to the north, it's going to create the weather impacts that we're expecting for the Northeast Territories and into parts of the Mid-Atlantic. We also need to be wary of where this rain-snow line is going to develop. Also can see some mixed precipitation across some of these areas as the system moves off to the north. Taking a look at precipitable water, during that time we see some nice P-watt values ranging from about 0.8 to 1.1 over the region. If you do some simple math, 10 to 1 liquid, 10 to 1 snowfall ratio, which is every 1 inch of rain equals 10 inches of snow. So if you have about 1.1 inches of precipitable water throughout the column, you can have about 11 inches of snow in the area. This is why we think about 12 inches is about the maximum you can see in some areas, with those isolated areas seen up to 16, with those even more isolated areas seen up to 18 inches of snow, as we mentioned in our snowfall forecast map. As in climatology, for those PWatt values, we can see those PWatt values are well above average for this time of the year, with this surface low bringing in a whole bunch of moist air advection across the region. Taking a look at a model forecast UT, which is showing a vertical temperature profile of the atmosphere. This blue dashed line right here is the 0 degrees Celsius line. This is our freezing line. We have our entire column of the atmosphere below freezing, which is needed for snowfall. You can also see how close the green line is to the red line, indicating that we have a very moist column all the way up to about 350 millibars, which is why we can see some enhanced snowfall during this time period. Again, taking a look at our forecast map, expecting that 12 to 16 inches of snow in Pennsylvania, parts of southern New York, moving its way into parts of even Connecticut and Massachusetts, and into the parts of this little small area of West Virginia, which is going to be due to terrain effects with parts of the Appalachian. Again, expecting accumulating snow, slippery roads, poor visibility, gusty winds, and travel disruptions. Could see blizzard-like or blizzard conditions for part of this event. Again, I am meteorologist James Longwith. Be sure to give us a like on this video, subscribe to our channel. Be sure to also like and follow us on social media, and check us out on our website, dynamicweatheragency.com. Thank you for watching our video. Have a good night.